My best friend betrayed me, sharing my secrets with everyone. When I confronted her, she laughed and denied it. I lost my trust and a piece of myself that day. I have a wife that I've been with for over 10 years and married to for 3. We have a 10-month-old son now. I recently met a guy who turned out to have a lot of common interests with me. We're both into finance, fitness, and stuff. We started hanging out more and more and working out together weekly in my home gym garage. Obviously, we spend time together and shoot the crap often. His situation is that he's single, a father of a 7-year-old girl, and his ex is a super jerk to him. She publicly talks down to him the few times we all went out to dinner together. He still has to see her because they're co-parenting, but he's been trying to date for the past year. Anyway, we got on the topic of what he's looking for in a girl because he keeps going on dates, and they all suck according to him. None of the girls are his type. So I asked what his type is, and he starts describing traits of my wife. Could be a coincidence. Whenever we go to dinner, he'll be telling a story or whatever and show a picture on his phone, but only to my wife. I have to ask him to see what the picture is before he puts it away. Not that I care that much, but it feels a bit suspicious. Whatever. We've been hanging out more and having game night at my place with him and a few other friends. Whenever he's around my wife, he takes my son, puts him on his shoulders, and plays with him in front of her. He makes weird comments, at least I think so, in front of my wife like I love being a father and providing for a family. I wish I had a wife as good at raising kids as you, and let me know if I can help you in any way with your son. These comments are always directed at my wife, never at me. Okay, whatever. The thing is, these comments have been raising red flags for me. So when I was working out with him the other day, I asked, do you think my wife is attractive? He said, oh, hell yeah, dude. Your wife is hot. I said, thanks, but it raised my antenna even more. Now, the reason I'm writing this is because his most recent comment to me was, do you think your wife can find a girl for me at her workout class that looks like her? This, coupled with what happened the other day at dinner, really got to me. We were meeting him and his family, who were in town, at a big shopping center. Since we were early, we waited at Starbucks for them to arrive at the restaurant. He comes to Starbucks while his family is already at the restaurant, waves, and says they're ready. I start packing my son's bag while my wife handles the stroller. This guy grabs my son, puts him on his shoulders, and starts walking out. My wife is walking out as I'm grabbing the bag. Now I'm literally watching this guy walk next to my wife, holding my child, while she's pushing the stroller, and I'm trailing behind them. I felt like I was watching a couple and their child, and I was seething, feeling completely displaced. Am I overreacting? Because I'm cutting this prick off. I'm not letting him anywhere near my wife and kid again. If we happen to see him in a social setting of 6 or fewer people, we're leaving. Edit. I asked my wife if he ever texted her or contacted her in any way on social media or by text. She said no. I told her just now that I feel like he's peacocking, and she said she doesn't get that vibe from him at all. Edit. A female friend came over tonight who mutually knows this guy. She agreed that it's strange and thinks he's crushing on my wife, intentionally or not, and she told my wife that to her face. I told my wife that if another woman can see it, it's obvious. My wife now says she feels embarrassed that she didn't see it and says it'll be awkward now because she doesn't want to think of him looking at her that way. Both she and a friend think it's best if we only see him in social settings with large groups and not at our house again. Listen, it seems the general consensus is trust my gut if I feel something is off, and it does. I'm going to talk to my wife, then tell this dude straight and ghost him. Update 3 weeks later. Here's the update. After all the advice, thank you all, I decided to go with the slow cutoff method rather than being direct. My thinking is that if you tell someone you're wise to their BS, they might just try to be more covert, cover their tracks, and get sneakier with their behavior, or they could try to buy sympathy with mutual friends. There was a party we were invited to at his house before all this unfolded, and I told my wife we weren't going. This caused a bit of tension between us because it got pretty heated. While she thinks he's doing it subconsciously and has zero interest in him, she said it doesn't bother her, and she hadn't even noticed until I brought it up. Needless to say, the fact that it caused an argument and drama for me was more than enough reason to never have this guy around my wife and kid again. Anyway, since he had already been introduced to all of my friends and my friend group, he invited all of them to this party. We didn't go, and a few friends asked if we were attending. I explained the situation, and a few of them agreed that they saw what I saw. They said they weren't going to the party either. One couple did decide to go, though, because they had gotten close to him over their shared interest in sports. The girl texted my wife and told her that they were the only couple who showed up, so it seems my friends were the only ones he invited. She also mentioned that he had a girl there with him. They said the girl barely spoke English, and although he claimed they were dating, she was acting very odd. Now, this is the part where I'm not sure if he became aware of my discontent, because I had already started cutting him off. I wasn't answering his calls, not initiating any texts, and being very curt with my responses, just things like cool bro, etc. After this party, he randomly texted me photos of him with this girl, professing how hot she is and what a great cat she is, saying they're dating. One phrase he used that further raised my suspicions was, "It'll be good to go on a double date, so you can see I have a girl." I'm thinking, why would he care about that, and what an odd thing to say. I asked how they met, and he said Tinder. I asked to see the convo, and he says he deleted it. He then sent her Instagram photos, and she has 37K followers, with half of her photos being in places like Dubai, London, etc., and doing lewd photo shoots. Considering he's an adult entertainment club kind of guy, this makes me think he may be paying for this companionship just to get his foot back in the door, but I could be wrong. Regardless, his feeble attempts to get me to engage are not working. He will never be around my wife and child again. So all is good now. I'm plenty busy with work, and my wife and I are doing fine. Our son is happy as can be, and I'm going to make sure I keep the grass cut, so I can see the snakes before they get to my door. Thanks, everyone, for the reassurances,